Niner Minute, and today we have John Lanigan. Played center for us last couple of years. How you doing over there, John?
I'm doing great. I'm holding up well.
What have you guys been doing during the coronavirus?
Um, just finding ways to entertain ourselves around the house, going a lot of walks, find hikes and stuff. You can tell it's getting dull when like walking entertains me now. So.
Any puzzles or games you've been playing?
Yeah, I've been just playing video games and stuff, playing with my friends, but watching a lot of movies. Um, Other than that, just normal Corona activities. So
Have you been finding a time to still work out in between video games?
yeah, I've been doing body weight stuff because Paul won't let me use his weights. Yeah.
So are you doing something like a video game you lose and you do a workout, or are you setting aside like an hour to do it? What are you doing? Which one?
No, I'll just get up in the morning and do it. And then, I just kind of have a routine of just doing like push-ups and like upper body stuff before I go to bed. I try to do that every night. So yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll just get up in the morning and like do a workout, and then just go about my day. So
All right. So let's get into some of the football stuff. We're really gearing this towards the passing league kids, for people
sure.
coming up into football. So I wanted to get your experience in youth football and kind of what that did for you at that level, what your thoughts were, and some of your favorite years in that age group.
Yeah, I started playing flag football in I think like first grade or second grade, like ridiculously young, and then like I think fourth grade I started playing tackle, and those first 2 years I was in California doing that, and then I moved here for my sixth grade year, and then played all the way through high school. But um, really, the years that I spent here, like just developing the relationships with my teammates, and with that entire group of people, and winning a lot of games, it was really just like unforgettable, and like an amazing time in my life when it's just like every day you just like get up and like you're looking forward to go to practice after school, and like you're get up at like 5 a.m. on a Saturday to go to a 9 a.m. game in Tooele, and just it's just like great. And like I have so many fun memories from like eighth grade. Like we won a championship in eighth grade. That was obviously a great year, but like even before that, when like before we won that championship, um like sixth and seventh grade, just playing with the guys and like having fun, it was just an incredible experience overall, I think. So.
Very cool. I remember I still am going through those early mornings, when there's still some frost on the field. You've just finished your donut and you walk out there, you barely stretch, and out you are playing as a kid. It's a lot of fun. Were you an A team, B team guy?
I played when I got here. I played on the B team all 3 years. So
Okay.
yeah, I was a B team kid.
Yeah, but did you really feel there was a huge difference between the A and B team? Did it suit you better? Was there anything that in the
Well,
process of the A and Bs that was a problem?
no, my dad coached the B team, so that was definitely a reason for me to be on the B team. But we got to like scrimmage the A team all the time, and that was like really fun because it feels less like practice and more like you're actually playing against a different team, but it's still your own team, and it's the guys that you like eat lunch with every day. So like that's a really great part of that system.
Did it
But
get pretty competitive?
was that?
Did it get pretty competitive?
Oh yeah, 100%. It got heated sometimes too, um, but that's when it gets really fun. So yeah.
So tell me, you've been involved in passing league ever since we started. You've been the kind of the lead ref. Had we had that back when you were going through, what kind of differences would it made? What did you think about it?
Being like involved in kind of the reffing and a little bit of the coaching for the passing league, it's like I think that would have been a really, really cool thing, like just to do in the spring, when there is no football and you're kind of like going through that, like 6 month period where
We'll
you
call
know,
it the cross season.
yeah, right. Yeah. Like for me, I've really only played football, throughout, until now. I did like a little bit of track, but that doesn't really count. So like having something to do in the spring, like related to football, would have been awesome. And especially like with the way that we have it set up, I think it's like it's really great and it's really well organized. To have like the high school kids like coaching the youth. Like I would have like freaked out for that when I was in middle school, because like those guys were like the coolest thing ever. So I think that's the coolest part of it. But.
So if there was something you could tell an incoming freshman that if it was just a piece of advice, doesn't necessarily have to be football related, but if there was one thing looking back on your 4 years that you could tell them now, what would it be?
An incoming freshman, just stick with it, honestly, because like obviously, right, the summer is like a grind, especially when you're coming from youth football, and then coming in spending that first summer. It can be really hard, but then like as soon as you get to the season, it's like the most fun thing ever, and it's really awesome. And then if you like even sticking with it more after that, I had more and more fun like every year throughout high school. So yeah, just kind of be persistent, and it can get really hard, but just like stick with it, and it gets better the further you get into it. So
And what's one piece of advice you could get them that would make them better now?
Right, that would get low.
Get low. That certainly helps.
Get mad, don't be afraid.
So kind of playing with a different personality on the field, because I know you had to do that. You're kind of an easygoing guy, and when we get out in a competitive situation out on a football field, you've got to be able to turn on the lights like that, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to like get mad, and like don't be afraid to like, just kind of let it loose.
Be that guy on the line that grunts every play, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Make noise if you have to. It's not embarrassing.
Was there any one game that you think of where you just came out with like it was just mean, like from the standpoint of being on the line, you just knew it was going to be a game that you had to be a different person on the field?
Yeah, Wasatch this year for sure. I don't know. Part of it might be like the whole rivalry thing, but I just went out and I was like, I am going to be as mad as I have ever been in my life right now, and just no holds barred, balls to the wall, that kind of thing.
Did it work?
Yeah, that was a really, really fun game.
I love it. So offensive line, they're kind of the unsung heroes, right? I mean, it's not the glory positions. Except for you, no one touches the ball for the most part. Kind of describe that camaraderie, the feeling of being an offensive lineman, because I know our group takes a lot of pride in it. And you hear from the younger group, I don't want to be a lineman. But tell them, what is it like to be a lineman in high school? What is that about?
As far as the I don't want to be a lineman, like, look, I get it. It's like you don't get any of the credit, right? Like you're not getting, all the commendations, and you're not getting all the recognition, and the girls definitely don't pay as much attention to the offense.
Oh, don't say that, John. Don't say that.
But like the bond that you form with the 4 other guys on the offensive line is like the tightest, most personal, closest bond that I can think of. It's like it's family, but it's like closer than family. Like you play line with somebody, and like you honestly feel like you're willing to take a bullet for them. It's just the tightest sense of brotherhood, and camaraderie, and just fellowship that I can't even describe it with words. It's just amazing. And like there's definitely like a sense of like I don't know, camaraderie is the right word. Like
did you have that feeling in youth, or is it something that develops as you move up in levels?
It felt that way in youth, but like not even on the same like universe as it does in high school. Youth, you feel kind of close to the rest of the line, but like in high school, it's like you're probably going to stick with the same 5 guys for like most, if not all, of the season, right? So you get like really close with these guys, and especially with how competitive it is in high school compared to youth or even freshmen, right? You have to be like that. You have to be like one mind and one unit, and to be like that with someone, it really makes you close. So yeah, it's honestly an incredible experience.
So you kind of run the huddle, right? It comes back and we put the centers in charge. What was the huddle like? Are there any funny times where, we were up by a bunch, or do you have any funny stories from being in the huddle that you can tell me?
Yeah, there's probably some way funnier stories, but just hearing that, the first thing that I think of was in the Pineview game, which was the semifinals this year. Um, Jimmy, our left tackle, was like freaking out. He was getting like really, really mad about something, and he was like getting heated and like yelling at everybody and yelling at McKnight and yelling at Jack. And it was just like, Jim, we're winning by like 30 points. You don't need to be mad right now. Like, it's okay.
I remember that, and I remember the whole thing. So a lot of the kids that are going to be watching this watch our games, and they see us kind of in front of the screen, and they see us making adjustments. Tell me about like the sideline and just kind of the game environment of what we're doing out there during a game.
As far as like the sideline, I think the sideline TV was like a really great thing for us this year, because we can like come off the field, like watch what just happened, and like say, okay, here's what they're doing, here's what we need to do to counter that. Like, here's what we're doing right, here's what we should keep doing, and just kind of like take a breath, collect yourself, get ready for the next drive, and then like go out and practice what we just talked about.
So as far as a game moment that will always stand in your mind, I'm sure there's wins, but looking for one kind of off the top of your head, just a moment in a game that was just surreal, or that you'll remember when you're 50 years old of that one point in time.
Huh. This is kind of selfish, but it was in the Stansbury.
All right.
It was in the Stansbury game, and this we were running like to Dylan, like, and run up the middle, and the play only went for like 10 yards or something. It wasn't like a super special play, but I remember there was like this wide open gap, like 8 feet wide, right next to me, and this linebacker was like coming in, and I like laid out and like Superman dived, and like I like went head directly into him, into his waist, and like, yeah, I just felt like I was like floating for like 10 seconds, and I watched it on film, and it's really not that incredible. It was like that was the weirdest feeling, and I knocked him over, and he got up and was cussing me out, and I was just like,
So I always think of football, of the line, as my heart, my mind, and my soul, right? And I've got a heart and a soul guy, and you were my mind guy, right? I mean, we put you there to kind of be able to run both sides of the line, make adjustments up front, be able to communicate, and the communication part goes with that intelligence part. When we went into a game, what did you see up front? How did things morph and change over a game? How complex is it really to be an offensive lineman at the varsity high school level?
Oh, very. Like, it does. It takes a lot of like really quick adjustments, and as much practice and preparation over the week, and like as much film as you watch, like it's gonna change in a game. Like, we can run through 100 times practicing. If they run this package, we're gonna call this like pass protection, right? But they're gonna be doing all sorts of different stuff. Like, it's gonna go wrong. And you're gonna have to make adjustments like really fast, and just like make changes. And really, it all works out in the end if you just like talk to everybody. If everybody knows what's going on, you can just make adjustments like that. But it does take a lot of like ability to adapt quickly, to be able to figure out those situations.
Well, I wanted to, now that I have you in screen and everyone's going to get to see this, congratulate you on a great season, for you and the whole team. I mean, our line, we rushed for an incredible amount of yards. Our offensive line play was one of the best in the state in my mind, and I think we set a template of how we continue to get better in what a dominant offensive line and run game looks like. So I'm really proud of what you guys achieved this year. Centers, you don't get a lot of accolades. I would have loved to seen you been all state, but you were an undersized guy. And tell me about being an undersized, you were how tall? 6 foot, 220?
I'm 6'1", actually.
6'1", sorry.
Coco, that's for you. I'm 6'1". But yeah, I'm like 6'1", 215. I think I went through this year. I was 60 pounds lighter than every single nose tackle that I played. So when you're in a position like that, which a lot of Park City kids are, you just got to be like, A, really, really fast off the ball, like get fast feet, and B, just like be mean, like just have, the will that if somebody hits you, you're going to hit them harder. And know your assignment, be like disciplined, be fast, and just, have the will to do it.
Fantastic. Okay. So Dalton implemented I think it was the minor minute or a fast minute, whatever. I'm going to read you off a series of questions. We're going to time it. I got to get the timer ready. You've got 1 minute to get through them all. And stopwatch. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, good. Do you have a pregame ritual? And what
pregame ritual, I listen to music, and then I put on like the shirt thing, like with the no sleeves that you put on under your pads, and then I go out and I watch the team, the opposing team walk in to their locker room.
Favorite football team?
49ers.
What was your favorite football play call in the huddle when you heard it coming?
Favorite play call? Anything inside run.
Okay. All right.
What
do you guys like to do? What do you guys like to do with the family, as a family?
Like my family?
Yep.
We watch TV after dinner. I don't know.
All right. Favorite food?
Favorite food, mac and cheese.
Biggest eater you've ever seen on our football team?
Biggest eater?
Mm-hmm.
Can I say myself?
Absolutely. Name one thing you've always wanted to do.
One thing I've always wanted to do. Hike Denali.
There you go. So here we were with John Lanigan. Thank you very much. We had a fantastic year, and offensive line is truly a different and unique position within a football team. And it takes a different type of character and individual to lead that group. So congratulations, John. You had a great year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. And this episode of Minor Minute was brought to you by Chesley Electric. They're actually working on my house right now. They've done a phenomenal job. Love the guys that are over there, and we're so happy it got delegated as an essential service. They came in and did a ton of extra stuff because it was just problems with our house. So I really, really recommend using the people that support us, and you can't go wrong with Chesley Electric. They've been fantastic.